Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I am Oluwabukumi Kolade. I want to thank you specially for joining us on this episode of your favorite program, Let's Talk About Infertility Openly. Today we'll be talking about my part in living a long, healthy life. If we look at statistics all over the world, we'll find out that the shortest lifespan are people resident in African continent. In other parts of the world, we have people living regularly to be 75, to be 80, to be 85, to be 90. But the average lifespan in Africa is between 48 and about 60. And this is not good at all. This leaves much to be desired. Today, we'll be looking at what are the habits that people in other climes they imbibe that helps them to live a long, healthy life. It may not be related directly to fertility, but indirectly it is related to fertility because you have to be healthy for you to be fertile. The first lifestyle I want to talk about is right eating habits. Right eating habits. Because we eat something through most of the days of our lives, then what we take into our system has an impact, either positively or negatively, on our well-being and ultimately on how long we live. So in talking about this, I'll talking about the timing of food. I'll talk about the type of food. So that I'll give you a rule of thumb that can guide us in these things. Talking about the timing of food, the most important meal of the day is the breakfast. Please, as much as possible, ensure you take breakfast. In fact, if you take breakfast, you find out that you can function better, you're not as irritable, as opposed to if you don't take breakfast. And then we have a saying that eat breakfast like a king, eat lunch like a prince, eat supper like a pauper. Meaning the biggest meal of the day should be breakfast. The lunch should be smaller and the dinner should be smallest. This is basically because at night time, there's not so much activity. So you don't have to load your system with a lot of food. And then talking about timing, we say latest by 6:30, please, you should have had supper. For the same reason I've said earlier. If for some reason you need to eat after 6:30, it is better to take fruits. Number one. Or if you have to eat about 6:30, please after the meal, wait for at least 2 hours before you retire for the night. This is because, as we know, when we're retired for the night, there's no activity. And so that food, the calories you've gained is not burnt. Many times, it more or less go to the tummy to either as fat or to the hip or the waist. So, right eating habits. The other important factor to know about right eating habits is the type of food that we take. As a rule of thumb, the more natural the food, the better. In other parts of the world, they're now talking about organically grown food. These are natural foods. No fertilizers, no chemicals, no preservatives, no processing whatsoever. This is because over time they have found out that these are safest for human consumption. So the more natural the food, the better. So for instance, if I need to take a snack, if there's a meat pie and an apple, we all know which is more natural. If I need to take a drink, if there's a soft drink and there is water, we all know what is more natural. So the more natural the food, the better. So rule of thumb, the timing of food is very important. The type of food is very important. Then talking about water, especially because we live in the tropical region, we need to take at least 4 liters of water per day. And that really means about 4 sachets of pure water in a day, at least. This will help digestion. This will help constipation. It will help bowel motion. It will also help excretion of waste products from the body. In actual fact, drinking water is more essential to life than eating food.